We saw in previous videos how the leading tone has a strong tendency to resolve up by step to the tonic. Diatonic tonal music contains another common tendency tone called a chordal seventh, which is created by stacking an additional third on top of a triad. Taken as a whole, these four notes are referred to as a seventh chord. The most common seventh chord in many repertoires is 5/7, also known as the dominant seventh. In contrast to the leading tone, chordal sevenths have a strong tendency to move down by step, and indeed this is precisely what happens with 5/7. In the following progression, F, the chordal seventh of the 5/7 chord, resolves down by step to E. In general, resolve chordal sevenths down by step. 5/7 has an especially strong sense of direction because it contains both the leading tone and a chordal seventh, which, taken together, form a tritone. This powerful gravitational force renders 5/7 unstable, a feature composers often use to their advantage by placing it directly before the final tonic of a piece. The specific tendencies of the leading tone and chordal seventh result in some unusual scenarios. When 5/7 progresses to 1, for instance, the proper resolution of these tendency tones results in an incomplete 1 chord in which the root is tripled and the fifth is omitted. Tripling the root in this case can be an advantage if your goal is to emphasize the stability of the tonic, but doing so sacrifices the richness of a complete chord. It creates a mini hole. There are two main solutions to this problem. The first solution involves omitting a note from the 5/7 chord to create an incomplete chord. Rather than writing a complete 5/7, leave out the fifth and double the root. Because the fifth of 5/7 contributes least to its distinctive quality, in that it's neither a tendency tone nor a chordal root, omitting it doesn't weaken the dominant seventh's strong sense of direction. The second solution involves placing the leading tone in an inner voice, leaving it unresolved, instead leaping down by third to the fifth of 1. This is the only way to achieve a complete 5/7 and a complete 1. Because the outer voices of a 4-voice setting are the most perceptually salient, the leading tone's lack of resolution doesn't create much of a bump in the texture, as it would if it were in an outer voice, like the soprano or the bass. The following example summarizes the three main possibilities for voice leading with complete and incomplete chords in a 5/7 to 1 progression. We'll end this lesson with a brief note on expectation. Because the dominant seventh chord contains such high harmonic tension, it creates strong expectations for what will follow. Throughout history, composers have used this feature to play with listeners by setting up a feeling of impending resolution and then denying it. The result can be quite poignant, as heard in the second movement of Edvard Grieg's piano concerto. As the orchestral introduction winds down and listeners anticipate the entry of the piano, Grieg keeps us on the edge of our seat by promising the tonic with a tense 5/7 chord, only to withhold it twice before finally giving in and resolving 5/7 to 1.